Now, in the past month, palm oil prices have fallen quite a bit. There we go, over the past 30 days, down by over 17%. Now, not surprisingly, the slide has also caused palm oil-related stocks to tumble sharply. Let's take a look at some of them, such as IOI and Wilmar. Now, you could clearly see on the chart, they have been to the downside as well over the past 30 days. Now, earlier this year, our next guest has correctly predicted a correction in palm oil prices and has initiated sell calls on companies such as IOI and Kuala Lumpur Kupang. Well, let's find out what his recommendation is now in view of the recent developments. We have Nirgunan. He is Nirgunan Tiruchelvam. He is equities analyst at ABN AMRO Asia Securities, joining us here in our Singapore studio. Great to have you with us. First of all, can you just give us a bit of background as to why you are so bearish on palm oil prices, even from here, despite the fact that we've had a significant correction already?
We believe that there's going to be a continued correction in CPO prices because CPO production has been growing very strongly in the last few years. In fact, there's been very intense planting of CPO in Indonesia and Malaysia ever since the boom in CPO prices began. So with every commodity, if you have a sustained period of high prices, the suppliers of that commodity will increase their production levels, and that's precisely what's going to happen. It's just that palm oil has a 3-year gestation period.
Okay, so there's too much supply and not enough demand. Where in particular is demand tapering off from?
Well, demand will taper off from the biodiesel sector. Everybody expected biodiesel to provide extra demand for palm oil. However, biodiesel is not sustainable. At the current feedstock cost, crude oil prices have to go to $170 a barrel for biodiesel to be sustainable.
Okay, so it's not economically viable at these levels. So which stocks in particular, I mean, you've mentioned IOI as one particular example. Yes. Which particular stocks would you be recommending people offload right now?
I would recommend people to stay away from the producers of the commodity. All the CPO producers are severely overvalued. IOI is a sell recommendation, KLK is a sell recommendation. The others in the sector are severely overvalued in light of the fact that they're trading at an average EV per hectare of $54,000 a hectare, whereas you can buy that CPO land in Indonesia for $7,000 a hectare.
I mean, as with all corrections, obviously, it also sometimes throws up buying opportunities. Are there any particular related stocks, perhaps not the producers, but those in related industries which have been, as part of the contagion effect, also sold off, which are looking like good buying opportunities?
Well, Wilmar International is a processor of that commodity. And as a processor, their processing margins will improve when the prices of CPO correct. So I would recommend a buy on Wilmar International.
Okay, so you've got a buy on Wilmar International with a price target of?
$6.47.
Okay, and it's currently sitting at around the $4 mark. Oh, sorry, 4 ringgit mark, I should say. Can I just ask you? Sing dollars, yes. Excuse me. Yes. So Malaysia is obviously very worried about the correction that it's been seeing in palm oil prices. I mean, it is a major commodity exporter. So it has been talking about some stabilization measures. Do you think any of them are going to work, though?
I don't think so, because the contribution of Malaysia to the actual consumption of the commodity is fairly limited. They're one of the largest producers, but they're not a large consumer.
Can I also just quickly ask you as a final question, what's the correlation, is it tight, between crude oil and CPO, crude palm oil?
There's actually an 84% correlation between the two commodities over the last 3 years, so there's very strong correlation.
So perhaps the sell-off that we've seen in crude of $20 or more per barrel over the past couple of weeks has been one of the reasons behind the fall in CPO?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Nirgunan Tiruchelvam, equities analyst, ABN AMRO Asia Securities.